In this episode of Maintenance Monday with the Sailing Doodles, the girls give the bottom of the boat a good cleaning. And I handle the rat's nest that is a complete electrical failure. A year ago I had a stroke and lost my career as a corporate pilot. So I sold everything I own and bought a boat that probably costs less than your car. I packed up my 2 dogs, talked a good friend into going along, and we set off to sail around the world. Along the way, we've had some great adventures and met some amazing people. We've even picked up a crewmate. So come along with us on this journey and enjoy the ride. These videos are made possible by patrons like you. To find out how you can help, go to sailingdoodles.com.
Well, one of the pains about cruising is stuff's always breaking. I don't exactly know what is wrong yet, but our electrical system is not working. Check the voltage on all the batteries. The voltage is fine, but power's not getting through the distribution panel. Kind of the pain about getting a boat that is, as old as this, plus, it's been hacked into so many times by people adding stuff and doing stuff that you just don't know what goes to what, so you got to trace all the lines. So tape, pin, label everything, figure out what's going to what. It's going to take a long time. I'm not looking forward to this.
Before we get too in-depth with the electrical system, here's a clip of the girls scraping the bottom of the boat wearing bikinis. We will revisit the girls in a minute, but back to the electrical system.
I mean, just trying to trace all this to the source of the problem. I took the load off of the output side of the breaker and tested the voltage going through the breaker, and the voltage is correct. It's 13 volts. When I hooked the load back up to that side of the breaker, it dropped the voltage down to like 9 volts. Or is something drawing such a load, it's kind of shorting out or something? I don't know. Basically, I'm going to troubleshoot. I'm going to disconnect the different buses and reconnect one bus at a time and see if that makes a difference. Maybe something's pulling too, I don't know. So this is the main power into the breaker. This is the output side of the breaker. It jumps down to this first bus here, which has, like autopilot and stuff like that. And then that bus is connected to the secondary bus with this cable. This is the next bus down, and then the next bus, all DC, right? So I disconnected these other 2 buses from this first bus, checked the power output, and it was still 13 volts. So whatever my problem is not on this bus. I reconnected everything as it was. And then I disconnected the second bus, tested the voltage, everything's fine. So that tells me there's no problem on this first bus. Now I will reconnect the second bus and go basically breaker by breaker and see what the problem is. All the breakers are off, so I don't really understand why it shouldn't affect it, but I'm no electrician, not even close. So what I did here is I disconnected the main bus bar from all these breakers, right? And what I'm going to do is get a jumper wire and connect it to the 12-volt load or 12-volt source to each load or each connection on the breaker, and that will probably tell me which breaker has gone bad or which accessory is drawing a load. See, bus 1 has 13.1 volts, right? And that's connected to breaker 1. So then I'll move this down to that guy there. Any difference? 13.1, right? So I'll just keep on moving down till one of them doesn't work. 13.2. I got 1 breaker left. Ah, crap, I don't know what the hell it is now. Great.
On that note, let's go back to the girls and see how they're making progress cleaning the boat. We hadn't cleaned the bottom of the boat since we started this journey, so it was definitely overdue. Alright, let's get this electrical situation solved.
Well, problem solved. I didn't really understand why it was happening with breakers, because the breakers were all off and it shouldn't be a droppage unless there's like a problem with the breaker itself. But, so I took all the breakers off that bus, connect them one at a time, they all worked just fine. But I noticed on the bus directly connected was one of these guys right here. So I traced that to its source to figure out what that connected to. That ended up connecting to the stereo. So I disconnected that, reconnected all the rest of the breakers, normal voltage. I connect this back to it, the voltage drops to 8. So that tells me there's a fault with the stereo. Probably just the stereo went bad. It's shorting out and drawing too much power and shorting everything else out. So, new stereo time. All right, I've decided that the stereo wasn't the problem. It was just putting a load on the system, and when that happened, the system wasn't able to keep up. I checked in the individual batteries, the voltage is good, which leads me to think it might be the battery bank selector. You know, you have 1, 2, both go into the cabin power. Maybe that went bad, so I'm gonna take it apart. There it is, right down there. See, I labeled them, you know, where the wires are supposed to go and all that, so that I can put it back. I've got it selected to off. That does not look off to me. But if I disconnect this, now it's off, right? These are the powers going to the power supply panel. Now, if I connect this to battery bank 1, it's on and it's doing a lot better than it did any way before. That leads me to believe that my power supply or power distribution selector switch is bad. Of course, I thought I'd spin 3 other things already, and I was wrong. So, let's,
Trial and error.
Yeah, I'll try changing this out, see what happens.
So you can see here that that was the source of our problem. The output side of the switch was melted and not working properly, and was not allowing electricity to flow either way. So after all, it ended up being a fairly easy fix. Just replace that switch. You can see here we have the engine selector switch taped off. That's to keep it from accidentally getting bumped while underway, because if that were to be turned off while the alternator's running, that could fry your alternator. Okay, back to the girls. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Maintenance Monday with the Sailing Doodles. Be sure to check out our new full episode coming out Thursday, and please click a like and subscribe.